Last week, there were some major changes in my industry, and instead of panicking, I did a competitive market analysis. And here we have it, my corporate AI training market competitive intelligence brief. And there was some huge news last week, something totally unexpected for a lot of us. And the two of the biggest players in the industry that I participate in, ed tech industry, merged, Coursera and Udemy for Business. And I needed to quickly figure out, where do I stand? Where does my company, Don't Get Mad, Get Skills AI, stand in relation to all these players? I'm just a small shop. How can I compete? Well, I turned to my super agent, asked it to do some research for me, put together a competitive analysis, and it gave me a competitive intelligence brief that gave me a great outcome. It made me realize that, wow, I'm actually in a pretty good position. So I got some real good information in regards to what's happening in the industry. This is a lot of detail. This was done in 20 minutes and just started out with a simple prompt. We see that we've got Coursera being analyzed. We've got the market landscape. We've got a competitor profile of Coursera for Business, LinkedIn Learning, Udemy Business, a competitive analysis matrix, and strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat analysis for Coursera for Business. We are identifying threats, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Same thing for LinkedIn Learning. Same thing for Udemy Business. And remember, this is all taking place in a matter of 20 minutes. All of the research that this would have taken me probably all week to do all the research, compile it, analyze it, and come up with some results. Now, here it is, the beauty of it. This part was like, yes, I never realized. I kind of knew, but I never really officially had identified my strategic opportunity zone. Get Skills AI is a boutique specialist shop. And of course I am. It makes perfect sense. That's how I've always positioned myself because, well, the analysis kept identifying those reasons. Hyper-personalization, industry-specific solutions. I mean, I can move fast. I don't have a whole team of people that I need to ask, organize, and direct to make a decision, to make a move, to make things happen. I can make it happen fast. And so it identified the core differentiators, and it told me where scale platforms end, transformation begins. And that's it. That's the boutique AI training positioning for our company. Don't Get Mad, Get Skills AI. We've got our advantages and our gaps identified. We've got go-to-market tactics, emerging trends. And I never even told it. I never told this tool that this was happening. But this was the reason for me to do this competitive market analysis. And it identified this big event within the market, the industry that I work in. And the Coursera merger, Coursera and Udemy merger, is going to create a massive content utility player, a mega platform. And we've identified the key trends, mitigation strategies, and external threats. I mean, that's pretty amazing. So everything I know, everything is really current. So we've got a call to action and the like. So we've got a competitive analysis, market analysis, identified our positioning and the like. Now, let me show you how I did that. So what we did is we used a super agent. And we need to know what a super agent is. A super agent, it starts out before we even get to a super agent, what are we doing right now? You're probably doing this. You're working with ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, one or the other. Chatbots. These are called chatbots, and they have a large language model running in the background. What happens is you give it a prompt, your input. Then that input starts getting processed by the large language model, and then you end up with an output right here. Write a poem about a flying dog that meows like a cat. And boom, there it is, just like that. That's a simple use of a large language model. Now, you've got some limitations to it. And some of those limitations include the fact that it's completely passive. You can't access external data. It doesn't have access to any tools or any other resources. Now we move on to level 2, workflows, AI workflows, right before we become an agent. So in level 1, we are given an instruction and it's giving us a result. So the next step is we can do a workflow. And let me give you an example of a workflow that I'm actually using right now. And in this one that we're looking at in this slide right here, there's a trigger, something that initiates the workflow, the input trigger. And in this case, there's something in the Google Sheets data. Could be something like on this date, go to Perplexity and do some research about the latest trends in AI, and then send those results to this large language model, and then generate a final output. So that's a workflow. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you. I'm going to show you, a workflow that I currently do. And this workflow runs automatically to make posts for me on LinkedIn automatically. So we've got right here, this is a workflow. And I use Pabbly. There's make.com, there's Zapier, all these. I got Pabbly. I like Pabbly Connect. And the trigger is a date, on a specific date. So on certain days of the week, Tuesdays and Fridays at this time, what I wanted to do is ask ChatGPT. So it goes to ChatGPT. Oh, I'm logged out. Let's refresh here. And then maybe I can see it. There we go. So on a specific date, that's the trigger. We want to go to ChatGPT, and we're going to access this model, and we're going to run this prompt that you're a world famous motivational speaker. You're a world famous motivational speaker specialized in maintaining a positive mental attitude at work, and you have a kind sense of humor. Write a motivational quote that will go viral on LinkedIn. Use no more than 3 emojis. Do not start the quote with "turn your." Always end it with a brief question and signed by Mr. Aloha. And use the hashtag #Don'tGetMadGetSkills. Use quotation marks around the quote only. Leave the signature out of the quote marks. That right there is the prompt that we are using. Then, once that prompt is generated, once the result to that prompt is generated, then it goes to Pexels. Pexels is where you can get free images, and it's going to use the result, the output from that prompt, which that's the output, as the query for the image. And then it's going to find the image. And then finally, in the end, it's going to go to Facebook and LinkedIn, and it's going to post the quote with the matching image. And this is runs automatically for me. This is called a workflow. This is one of many workflows that I currently have that runs automated, but it doesn't think. If something happens in between, like let's say suddenly the quotes start coming out wrong or something changes, I have to go in here and I have to do all the thinking about how to solve this problem for whatever issue came up. Now, what we've got are the next level, which is we need an agent. We need somebody that we can just tell it to, hey, I need to somehow be able to post a quote with an image on my social media. And then it comes up with its own workflow, and you can task it to just do all the thinking and run and the like. That's our super agent. So we've got a workflow, which is not quite, an agent because we're still doing all the logic. We're still thinking. If an error happens, then, we're just going to get a notification saying, hey, there's an error. It's not like it's automatically thinking, there's an error. What can I do to fix it? So the next step is our AI agents, super agents. And that are agents that do the reasoning. So you've got your core agent and you delegate a task to it, like generate a competitive analysis for me about this. And then it goes out and it starts doing it. It goes out and it starts reasoning, starts thinking about, okay, how am I going to do this? What websites do I need to go and do this research on? And then how am I going to present the information? How does the person delegating it, how does Mr. Aloha, Billy, want this information presented, or what's going to be the best way to get it to him? And then it begins to act. And now it can call on other tools that it needs besides just going out on the internet. It can actually access a website and start working with a website, clicking on buttons and the like. And then it's going to observe the result. It's going to have the agent that's supervising, that's observing what's coming out. And then it might think, hey, you know what? Those results aren't quite giving the answer that the user asked for, or it's not going to be based on what I already know about this user, because this system, Genspark, learns about you, how you're using it after a while. And so then it might go, the output that I'm coming out with is not going to be the best output, what this user is looking for. So then it refines, it iterates, just like you do. Let's say that poem that you asked ChatGPT to make, maybe it didn't come out quite right. So you asked ChatGPT, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want it to meow. I want it to oink like a pig. And then you start going back and forth until you actually end up with the output that you want. So you're involved in the whole process. Here, you delegate. I want a competitive market analysis. So then the agent starts thinking about it. What's the best way to go about it? Then it acts, calls on any tools that it needs, goes on the internet, uses Excel, uses Microsoft Word, uses Google Nano Banana, generates videos. Whatever tools it had access to, it starts using them, accessing them to generate the result that you want. So then it's going to begin to observe and look at the result that it's giving you, and then perhaps it's going to say, that's not actually the right output. So it iterates. It says, let's go ahead and let's try again, do it this way. And so it goes around in this circle until it finally generates the output that you need. By the way, this is called a React framework, if you've ever heard about that. But we go into detail in another lesson. And then you're going from AI babysitting to AI delegation. In your traditional AI, let's look right over there. You've got, it's just level 1 and 2. It's just an assistant to you. It's not autonomous. You ask it a question, it generates an answer, and then you manually do the work. You copy, paste, and put together the slideshow yourself based on the findings that you have. In the super agent's case, right here, you do all the work pretty much. You ask it, it gives you the answer, you copy, you paste, then you go look for the pictures, whatever. And the super agent, you delegate the task. See the difference? One, you're working, you're asking for tasks to be, for you're doing the task, you're coming up with everything, you're doing all the work. With a super agent, you're delegating a task. Do a competitive market analysis, and then it goes ahead. You delegated the goal. It does the research. It delivers a work product, and the result is you're 10 times more productive. Yes. Oh, that was supposed to be a boom. There it is. And now we're going to go ahead and demonstrate the tool that I use, the super agent Genspark that I use to generate that presentation with. Let's go right ahead and let's just boom, go right here, exit. And here's the corporate training slideshow that we generated in detail. This is what we first saw when we came in. That helped me identify that, wow, actually I'm uniquely positioned as a boutique shop right over here. And they gave me a lot more findings. But it started out with a simple prompt that we have right here. Just like this. I gave it my logo, so it had my logo to work with. From that, it pulled the colors. And then I said, create a comprehensive competitive intelligence brief analyzing the corporate AI training market. I told her what to focus on, who the competitors were, and to keep in mind my positioning as a boutique AI training provider, Get Skills AI. And then it went ahead and it started doing the research. Now I have custom special instructions, so my assistant is actually called Dr. Nexus, and Dr. Nexus went ahead and started doing all the work. So let's just go ahead and start this replay so you can see it in action. So there it is. And it starts working. Now this is going a lot faster than it normally does, because this actually took about maybe 20 minutes to do this entire process. But right here it's running really fast. You're noticing that all of the different places that it's going to, all the different tools, you see how it's saying using tool, using this tool, using this tool. So it's going on the web, it's going to a blog. Now it starts putting together the slides right in here. It gives itself a to-do list. Here we can see it assembling the slides. Editing them. And then it jumped to this next step. It did some iteration. It went ahead and said, hey, look, I went over what I found and I boiled it down into this right here. So it created another prompt that you see right over here. And there's your executive summary slide and the like. So it's doing all of this work on its own. And here we go. It's working. So it did the first step from the prompt that I gave it, did all the research, and look, there it is. It's going into more detail. And then the end product is this slideshow that you see right here. Now, this is what Genspark looks like, the Genspark browser. This is the Genspark browser. You can just go to genspark.ai. Here, I'll just open up. Let's jump to the result. Let's go to Genspark AI, genspark.ai, and then let's go to it this way. Right here, Genspark AI. And when you go to genspark.ai, you're going to land right here at Genspark AI. Now, I've got a paid subscription. I think I pay $20 a month, something like that. But it gives you access to all of these different agents. Here we can see all the agents. You've got the Genspark Super Agent, AI Slides, AI Sheets, AI Developer. You can design websites. You can design apps. And you can go to AI chat, and it's got a mixture of agents. So when I go to AI chat, mixture of agents, what that means, it's that it determines what is going to be, it determines what's going to be the best large language model for the question that I ask. Or I can just say, hey, no, you know what? I just want to go with GPT 5.2, boom, or 5.2 Pro. So you pay for one subscription. You pay for just that one subscription, you get access to all these different models. So you don't have to have $20 a month here, $20 a month here, $35 a month, or get Google Workspace so you have access to this, then pay for this. No, you just pay for Genspark, and you've got access to a super agent that can do a whole lot of things, like put together a competitive market analysis for you. It can make videos. That competitive market analysis, I turned it into a podcast, a 7-minute podcast. It did it all for me. I mean, there's so many things that you can do with a super agent, and this is just Genspark Super Agent. Next week, I'm going to talk about Manus IM, which is another super agent, and this one is considered to be the top of the line. I use this one every week. However, I find myself using Genspark more. I'm going to put in the description for you a link where you can just use this link, and it's a win-win for you and me. You're going to get 1,000 free credits right here. 1,000 free credits when you sign up, and I get 1,000 free credits too. So it's win-win for us. Hey, what happened to our buttons with our music? Here we go. It's a win-win for us. Having some technical issues, but nothing that, we don't get mad. We get skills. We just keep on rolling. I'm going to recommend to you, my friends, to visit the link in the description, strategy.getskills.ai. Sign up for AI for Leaders. You can try it free for 7 days. Where this course is specifically designed to teach you some foundations on AI, help you build some skills for AI, using AI, and strategic insights. It's designed for managers, leaders, people that are thinking about implementing AI within their organization. We've got our friendly chatbot, strategy bot working right here. The strategy bot is kind of like a super agent because I can, more on that in another class. There's just so much to know, my friends. And let's just keep it simple. I want to remind you, you can do a lot of beautiful things with AI. By the way, when you join AI for Leaders, you join the AI for Leaders workshop, where we can go ahead and just keep on learning, communicate with each other. Whenever you post in here, you ask a question, I get actively notified right away. I'm right here in my studio managing all of this all the time with the help of my super agents. And so much good content, so many good things for us to be learning. Here's our Christmas message this is all AI that I'm a couple of different AI
Christmas
tools
always gives me a moment
this.
to slow down and reflect. I'm grateful for the conversations, the learning, the honest questions, and the people here who genuinely want to grow, professionally and personally. This year reinforced something I believe deeply. Progress isn't about having all the answers. It's about staying curious, sharing what works, and helping each other move forward. If we've connected, exchanged ideas, or learned from one another this year, thank you. I truly appreciate you. Wishing you and your family, your ohana, a Merry Christmas, Mele Kalikimaka, good health, and positive momentum as we head into the new year. Aloha.
So there you have it, my friend. That's it. AI. There's so much you can do with it. You learned about the super agent, and now what I'm going to say, like I always say, I love you. Keep on learning. And most of all, don't get mad. Get yourself some skills. Aloha.